So I actually went back and forth about whether I really wanted to make this video, but ultimately I think it's a very important conversation we need to have about gaming communities, content creators, and the role that we play as consumers. As you guys know, I love to come on here and yap about bad games and complain about greedy game companies, right? That is what fills me with joy. I've also made quite a few videos talking about influencers, Nintendo influencers, cozy games, gacha games, The Sims. And I've said this before, but my inspiration for these videos is content creators like Hannah Alonso and Kiki Chanel, who pretty much have entire channels where they talk about shady influencers and content creators who lie and deceive their viewers.
No person deserves this much praise for doing nothing.
And today I have an axe to grind with what I perceive to be performative activism among Sims influencers. Now, before we get into this, I have to be so clear. I do not make these videos to attack, hate, or harass anyone. That is not my goal here. I do not condone that. I do not support that. I never have, and I never will. Period. This video is not free reign for anyone to go into the comments and start saying out-of-pocket stuff, because I will delete those comments and I might even block you from ever commenting again, okay? And I know most of you understand that and you're intelligent with your criticism, and I appreciate that and I thank you for that. I just have to say that and get that out of the way. Now, on the flip side, the influencers I'm talking about are public figures. They're not immune from criticism. They're not above reproach. These are very influential and very wealthy individuals. So if you feel like you're going to be personally offended on behalf of your favorite influencer and you're going to go to war for them in the comments and attack me in return, it's probably best for you to click off right now. Now, if you don't know, the Sims community is very different from mainstream traditional gaming communities. A majority of Sims players are actually women, and a large percentage identify as LGBT+.
Our audience is incredibly diverse. In 2022, we conducted a broad quantitative and qualitative study of the Sims audience. 43% of our audience identify as members of the LGBTQIA+ community, and 38% of our audience are people of color. That's far exceeding traditional gaming demographics.
And because of this, Sims players have different values and different priorities from your traditional gamer. They really care about things like diversity and inclusion. And over the years, Sims players have pushed for things like more pronoun options to be added to The Sims, more diverse skin tones, more sexualities, etc. And to be clear, I also think that these things are very important. These are life simulation games we're talking about, so I feel like people should have as many options as possible when it comes to representing real life. That's literally the point of a life simulation game. And needless to say, a lot of people actually play games like The Sims in order to explore their own sexuality or perhaps live out a life that they can't in real life. The Sims is like a safe space for a lot of these players. There's this excellent video called "Did The Sims Make You Gay?" that explores this exact idea. Recently, as many of you know, we learned that Electronic Arts is being sold to investors. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and a private equity firm called Silver Lake. So when it was announced that Electronic Arts, the company that makes The Sims, is being sold to Saudi Arabia and the Trump family, two entities that do not value women's rights or LGBT rights, particularly trans rights, or diversity in general, the Sims community was outraged. The Saudi involvement is particularly concerning because the list of human rights abuses this government is complicit in is actually outrageous. And although the Saudi government already owns 10% of EA, which means that if you're buying The Sims, you are contributing to these human rights abuses. Let that sink in.
Oh my God.
To think that next year, when you go out and buy a Sims game or any EA product, your money is going to a government that literally executes gay people and imprisons women's rights activists, among many other deplorable things. That is a very troubling concept to come to terms with, but it is the reality. We can say right now that by buying EA products, you are literally funding human rights abuses. Are we all understanding this? So the question this community is trying to come to terms with right now is, do we want our money to support that? I've been boycotting this game for years. I do not promote it. I do not play it. In fact, I do the opposite. I encourage people not to buy this game or support EA at all, and that's prior to the buyout. But for other people who actually support this game and buy the products, you have found yourself in a predicament. So the question is, do you want your money to support that? If you continue buying EA products, you're contributing to a lot of messed up stuff in the world. And we also need to ask the same question to influencers who promote this company and its products.
So thanks so much to EA for giving us early access to check out this new pack.
So that brings us to Sims content creators, people who play this game and make money from it, especially the ones who literally market this game for EA as members of the EA Creator Network. My question to them is this something you want to promote? Can your conscience handle this? In the last few days, some Sims content creators have come out and made statements essentially just saying, I'm worried. Sims YouTubers Carrie and Connie, who have over 1 million subs, came out with a statement that said, this sucks, and that they're nervous moving forward. Another Sims content creator, Deligracy, posted this short message, part of which read, I'm really disappointed to see that EA is being sold, and to whom? Sad face. I think it's very valid to have concerns about it all. Fun fact, she has since deleted this statement. I mean, to be real, what even was this statement, Deligracy? It's like she went to ChatGPT and told it to say nothing using as many words as possible. Maybe that's why she deleted it, or maybe she just doesn't care. And finally, Lil Simsy released a statement and actually made a whole video about the EA buyout. Here's part of what she said.
EA just announced a deal to sell to private investors, and these private investors are, to put it bluntly, really bad. It's horrible. And this also raises the moral dilemma of, do we want to continue playing and supporting a game that is owned by such awful people? This is where I have been really struggling. The Sims is my entire life. It's my livelihood, it's my hobby, it's my name. My last name is Sims. But where does this leave me? I don't know. I am going to keep playing The Sims. I'm gonna keep talking bad about The Sims and about EA when I need to. But again, this is my job, so it puts me in a really tough spot. I hate the idea of supporting them. Like, that just horrifies me.
But out of everyone that I expected to take a stand and not just speak words, but actually take action, in my naivety, perhaps, I kind of thought she would be the one. Because how can someone who has spoken so passionately about trans rights, for instance, who has fundraised in support of trans causes.
So basically, today we're gonna be live raising money for the National Center for Transgender Equality.
How can she sit here and say, I don't know what I'm gonna do? 2 transgender women beaten to death in Saudi Arabia, reportedly thrown into sacks and tortured by police. What do you mean you don't know? If there is any doubt in your mind or anyone's mind whether they want to support an authoritarian regime that literally offs people for being gay or trans, you are a joke. To me, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's either yes, I support this, or no, I do not. Do you care? Or do you not care? Shortly after posting these statements, all 3 of these creators proceeded to go back to promoting The Sims 4's next expansion pack. So my question is the integrity in the room with us? Because you cannot sit up here and say, I'm so upset and I disagree with who's buying this company, and then turn around and promote that product that is preemptively lining the pockets of the people you profess to dislike. Somebody could watch one of their videos today and then proceed to spend the next 10 years investing in The Sims 4 as a product. All the 100 DLC that cost $1,500. Are we understanding this concept? Someone on Reddit put it this way, and I quote, every creator out there who after this continues to promote this game is actively financing and promoting Trump and the Saudi Arabians. That comment was posted on Lil Simsy's own subreddit, by the way. According to an internal document from EA that was sent out to employees, the company will be in the hands of these new owners in 6 to 9 months. That's how fast this is moving. We can disregard the fact that they already own 10% of the company, which means if you buy EA products today, you're contributing to some pretty disgusting things. But 6 to 9 months left, the clock is ticking. And the fact that all we've seen from the Sims community so far is less than a handful of content creators saying, I'm gonna ride the fence and do nothing. As I said in my last video, we're really seeing some true colors here. We're really seeing what people value, especially when it comes to these people who actively choose to be affiliated with EA. A lot of these people are in EA's creator network. And might I add, there's also a lot of Sims content creators who have said absolutely nothing about this. Not a peep. Where is James Turner? Where's Sid Mack? Where's Vixella and Plumbella and all the other Ellas and the Plumbussies and the other ones? The silence is deafening, truly. Imagine valuing your allegiance to a corporation, to a video game, over your own integrity. A lot of these people actively choose to market these games for EA. They choose to align themselves with a corporation that was already greedy as hell before, but now it's one that's contributing to hate, to bigotry, and to literal offing people. Do we understand? And again, by promoting The Sims today, you're enriching the future owners. So who are the future owners? Well, it's either a regime that literally offs gay people, mistreats women, supports slavery, goes full hitman on journalists, or it's the literal Trump family. And no, you don't get to pick which one the money goes to. By the way, I've seen some comments online from people saying the people who criticize the Saudi government are just xenophobic and racist. I myself received comments saying that I just hate Muslims, and that's why I don't agree with the buyout. Look, it is not about culture. It's not about religion. It's about an authoritarian regime that literally eliminates human beings. You guys don't know this obviously, but I studied abroad in the Middle East. Some of my closest friends have been Muslims. I've had iftar during Ramadan with Muslim families. I've spent almost all of my adult life living abroad. I have the utmost respect for different religions, different cultures, and different values. To chalk this up to, oh, you just hate Muslims is so stupid. And sure, some of the people criticizing this deal could very well be xenophobic and Islamophobic or whatever. But the Saudi government has executed 241 people so far just this year. This is about innocent people dying and whether we want to support that. It is that simple. When it comes to this buyout, right and wrong is clear as day. You know, it's actually hilarious because I remember a couple years ago when Hogwarts Legacy came out, so many people, so many content creators in the Sims community were saying, we have to boycott this game because of J.K. Rowling. Even though the developers of Hogwarts Legacy came out and said, we value trans people, they literally hired a trans actor to play a trans character in the game, but because a percentage of the sale maybe went to J.K. Rowling, she could have gotten a flat fee for all we know, I don't know. But because J.K. Rowling maybe could have used a fraction of the Hogwarts Legacy sales to donate to anti-trans causes, the Sims community said let's boycott. A popular creator, Steffo Sims, made this tweet saying she's side-eyeing anyone playing Hogwarts Legacy, and apparently Lil Simsy herself said she didn't support this game. So where in the hell is that same energy right now? Where's all that passion and that rallying against the big bad guy today? The Saudi government is doing way worse than J.K. Rowling has ever done. That is a fact. We have a TERF who is in all other areas quite progressive on one hand, and literal murderers on the other. Hello? Right now, they own 10% of this company, so a percentage is already going to support that. Where has the outrage been all this time? And where is your outrage in the fact that in a few months, nearly all of your money that you give this company will be going to that? It's not a matter of, well, an authoritarian regime that engages in human rights abuses could be getting some of my money. It does currently, and it will get more in the future. You're not Hannah Montana. You do not get the best of both worlds. You do not get to say, Harry Potter game, J.K. Rowling so bad, but Sims game, Saudi government so good. There is no middle ground. And there is no, let's wait to see what happens. There's a lot of discussion in the Sims community right now about what's the right thing to do. Why is that even a question? It baffles me how people who profess to care so much about inclusion and diversity and sunshine and rainbows and we love everyone can continue supporting this game and this company. It is spineless. I cannot stand this whole, oh, I'm an ally. I care about you guys. I'm worried about this deal. Jared Kushner. What are we gonna do? I have an idea. Stop promoting the damn game, bro. Stop buying it. Put your money where your mouth is. But this is how the Sims community has responded thus far. Silence. Empty words, PR speak, bullshit. So many people in the Sims community were praising creators like Lil Simsy for speaking out and being so brave. Is the bravery in the room with us? I'm still trying to figure out, what did she do that was so brave and amazing? Because all I see is a whole lot of yapping and a whole lot of doing nothing. All talk, no action, like a lot of these creators have been doing for the last 10 years while this company has ripped you off. by the way. If they continue buying, supporting, promoting, doing sponsorship deals, saying use my creator code at checkout, taking gifts from EA, all of this means nothing. It's performative. Period, point blank, end of story. So what are you actually going to do? Because this is not cutting it. I know there's going to be people in the comments saying, well, they're Sims 4 creators. It's their job. What else do you expect them to do? I don't care. Do what everyone else does. Lil Simsy could turn on the camera and make sock puppets and still have a beautiful life, by the way. You guys know she's a literal celebrity, right? She is signed to the same talent agency as Kylie Minogue, Bad Bunny, and LeBron James. She is not Small Bean's little girl like her fans pretend she is. I don't hate Lil Simsy. I actually admire a lot of what she does, like with her charity work, but there's also nothing stopping any Sims 4 creator from playing literally any other game. In the last 2 days, I've seen 2 different Sims 4 content creators who said they will no longer be making Sims 4 content.
I am officially done with The Sims 4.
They enlisted their Sims 4 videos.
And if you guys haven't already seen, I did go ahead and unlist all of my Sims videos because I just feel like I need a new chapter.
They understand the implications. They took action. Respect.
You would think that these people that love the LGBTQ community as much as they claim they do, you really think that this would be the time for them to show up and show out. But it really just feels like they're saying, oh man, that sucks. I really don't like that. Don't forget to use my creator code at checkout.
Yet these creators who have been doing this a whole lot longer and have made a whole lot more money, they're acting like they don't know what to do.
But where does this leave me? I don't know.
We're so lost and confused. Help us. Get the hell out of here, bro. When they made these statements, they knew exactly what they were doing. They're testing the waters. They're seeing how people will react to them saying, I don't know, but I guess I'm just gonna keep playing for now. And the Sims community fell for that shit. Now watch them say the exact same thing in 6 to 9 months when this deal goes through. If any Sims 4 creators are watching this, prove me wrong. I would love for you to do that. I would love to see people saying, in good conscience, I can't play this game anymore. I can't be in the EA Creator Network. I can't support this company that is supporting human rights abuses. Also, I'm fully aware it is hard to be an ethical consumer in this day and age. If you take a look at everything you purchased in the last 30 days, some of the businesses you bought things from have probably donated to causes you don't support or you don't agree with, or have investments with unsavory entities. But this situation is clear as day. It's not like, oh, maybe 1% of the sale of this item I'm buying is going to this company I don't like. No, this is 100%. This is everything. Some people have said we should be focusing more on the Jared Kushner of it all. And yes, there are geopolitical implications to that, but the Saudis fund his firm. Literally, his firm would not exist without their billions of dollars in investment. Jared Kushner is their puppet. They're pulling the strings, and they're the ones who are guilty of the most heinous stuff. In my recent video about The Sims 4 and this whole buyout, I briefly discussed Lil Simsy's statement, and I got a few comments in response. One of them said, I have to defend Lil Simsy and say that in her new video regarding the subject, she explained that she doesn't know if she'll be supporting The Sims in the future, saying that for now she will continue, but it's hard because The Sims is her livelihood. Here's another comment. I really empathize with her and many others like her who are torn between the calls to boycott and personal harm, like loss of income and loss of enjoyment. Wow, that's... Yeah, you know who else lost enjoyment? The gay man who was jailed for 3 years because he wore shorts to the beach. The numerous journalists who have been jailed and executed by the Saudi government. The women's rights activists like this one, who was sentenced to 8 years in prison for peacefully protesting. These people who go around defending wealthy influencers sound so stupid. Lil Simsy makes more money in a single year from Twitch and YouTube than most people in this world will earn in an entire lifetime. Let that sink in. Some of these creators have literally bought houses from The Sims 4. Stop making excuses for them. I have zero empathy for people whose actions do not align with their words. If you're gonna be a shill, be brazen about it. Own it. Wear that shill badge loud and proud. But also know that if you don't step up within the next 6 to 9 months or however long it takes, it's not gonna be a good look for you. I can guarantee that. Again, I'm not saying any of this to hate on anyone anyone. I don't want anyone to attack or harass any of these content creators. I myself have been through that. I know some people are gonna get really upset when I criticize their precious game and the company that makes that game and the influencers they love who promote it. At least I have conviction and I practice what I preach. Can these people say the same?